what is the best hosting company to pick in 2022? In the last week, I've taken a deep dive and I have a summary for you. But before we dive in, you have to know two things. One, I am a designer and that means that I am not a developer, right? Hosting is really technical and I am not a very technical person, but I know that there are a lot of people watching this channel which are also not super technical. So I wanted to have a hosting company that was easy for me and my clients. And two, I was not paid by any of these companies to make this video. This is pure my opinion. So let's just get started. Like I said before, the first thing that I want is that it's easy for me to use and for my clients. So why does it have to be easy for my clients as well? When I started this channel, I gave my clients the freedom to choose whatever hosting company they wanted to choose, right? Because I was so nice. But what ended up happening is that I became kind of like their hosting support person because their hosting company was so crappy and then I needed to solve all these issues and that made me so crazy. I mean, some clients, they even they knew a friend somewhere and they had their own little hosting company. It was complete crap. I mean, compared to the big boys, these super small companies, of course they can't compete. And sometimes you have to change something, you have to migrate a website to a new domain because it's all messed up in their system and it was so horrible. So what I've done is I've just decided like, hey, I mean, I do want to work for clients, but if you want to work with me, I am picking the hosting company because I like to have a consistent workflow and I also think, with all respect, Mr. Client, that this experience for you will be nicer. So that's an important point that I wanted to make. But how then do you do that with billing? Well, like I said before, I charge my clients monthly for lots of different things. For example, for hosting and for Elementor Pro. Because the most basic thing they need is hosting, a domain, and Elementor Pro. Because I don't sell websites anymore with Elementor Free. I actually never did. So those are the two tools that they need to have. And also in my experience, clients don't really like to mess with all the accounts and the payments because they have to purchase it, they have to manage it, and they don't understand anything about it. So they want you to take care of it. And that's why I charge a monthly fee. This way it's really easy for me to make a profit so that the investment in the hosting company is not a big deal. Now, the second thing that I want for a hosting company is a easy SSL installer that doesn't cost any extra because I want my website to be secured, of course. I want to be able to create lots of subdomains, which can be useful for clients if they have a different project that they don't want on their main domain, but also for my own website where I use subdomains as portfolio item previews. And I also use subdomains for testing. Right? So what you want to have is one hosting package where your own portfolio website is in there, but also your client websites and all of the subdomains under those main domains. Speaking of convenience, I also want the domain part to be integrated within that package. I know some people say like, hey, you have to buy your domains over here and your hosting over here, but then you have to connect all of it with the DNS and it's all technical and some things can go wrong. I want it all to be in one simple, nice, convenient package. So that's why domain registrar needs to be in there as well. I also want webmail to be included. And I know that in some cases it can be useful to have your mail on another server, but for most clients that don't have huge companies, it's just super convenient to just make their emails inside of their hosting account. I want an easy WordPress installer. Almost all the hosting companies have that right now. Just a one-click installer so that I don't have to mess with zip files and creating databases. And lastly, I want daily backups. This is something new because back in the days, most hosting companies didn't have that, but it happens a lot of time when you are developing and a project takes a week. Sometimes you do something wrong and the site breaks. And then it's so nice that you can go back one day, but also when your clients break something in the future, you can go back a few days or a few weeks even, and it doesn't change the whole website, right? So when I started my web design business, I just made monthly backups, but now I'm like, no. Monthly is not enough. I want daily backups. That is a lot more security for my business because if something goes wrong, I am much more safe with that. So those are the criteria that I have. And like I said in the beginning, I think you should only consider the big companies because the big companies, they have the tools, they have the support often, which is also quite useful, and they have the capacity to improve over time. The first three companies that I think you should consider are on the WordPress.org website. WordPress themselves recommends them. These are Bluehost, Dreamhost, and Siteground. And then there are three more, which are Hostinger, Godaddy, and even Elementor. So let's start with Elementor. As most of you know, on livingwithpixels.com/links, I have all the software that I recommend. And now, if you go to the Elementor Pro pricing page, you will see that they also offer hosting. This is something new. They are testing this. So this sounds great, right? You are already working with Elementor. You think this should be super convenient, right? But nah, I don't really recommend using Elementor right now because they are just in the beginning of offering hosting. They don't even have a domain a registrar, so you have to connect it in a very technical way. And they also don't provide email. And then you have to connect that as well. And that will make your journey a lot more technical. So this is not something I really want to talk a lot about yet. Maybe they will improve in the future. But you know, on their page, they compare it like, oh, with Elementor Pro, you don't have all these things which you have with your Elementor website, they call it. But if you just pick another hosting company, you can have all these things and a lot more features and just still use Elementor Pro and have all the features that Elementor Pro offers. So no, we're not gonna go in Elementor hosting yet. So now let's go to the big hosting companies that have been here for a while. Let's just first go to GoDaddy. If you go to godaddy.com, you can click on websites over here and then WordPress hosting. You always want to pick WordPress hosting instead of just the normal hosting packages because WordPress hosting servers generally are optimized for WordPress websites. In a lot of cases, they only allow WordPress websites to run on those servers so they can fully optimize it for WordPress, which is of course what you want because speed and performance is really important when you're picking a hosting company. To be honest, I think that this pricing page is even confusing to begin with. It doesn't even say how much websites you can have, but for example, it does say over here, your sites loads fast. So if you have multiple sites, your storage is shared across them. Okay, so their normal plan is $10 a month, as you can see. You only get business email for 1 year, and then you have to pay for business emails, and that's also for the more expensive plans, which I don't really get. I mean, when I'm paying this, and especially $25 when it renews, I do not want to pay for email, okay? So in my opinion, the competition is only between Bluehost, Dreamhost, Siteground, and Hostinger. Let's first explore the pricing pages because these companies are very good at hiding what you are actually gonna pay, which I don't really like. Of course, they want to make some money, but let's just click on Bluehost to begin with, right? We're gonna check out their pricing, and if you go on the, I got it. If you go on the homepage, you see this very nice price over here, and you can choose a plan. The information is very limited, so what I recommend is just go over here and click on WordPress hosting. Now you will go to a website that has a completely different design for some reason. I mean, look at the difference. This is the homepage. And now look at this. Okay, that's just my design eye. Now, let's look at their pricing. Over here, you can see for unlimited websites, it starts at €4. Oh, let me put it on dollars, by the way. Okay, it's around $5. But two things. You can see this normally over here, which is 14. And if you put it on 36 months, you see that this price increases. So you're like, huh? I'm paying for 36 months, but I pay more. But the regular rates, so the renewal rates, are different for the 12 months and the 36 months. And this is on all hosting companies that I see. The longer you sign up for them, the cheaper it becomes. Makes sense, right? Because they also need to make a profit, but they always hide it, which I don't really like. So let's just first go to the regular rate page. And if you scroll down over here, this is where the real pricing is. So on a kind of like a hidden page, you can see over here, the cheapest plan is a 3-year plan. But which one do we need? Plus, Choice, Plus, or Pro? Well, over here, you can see that you have the first package, you have unlimited websites, but the automated backups, which I think is very important, they start from this package. Oh, no, wait, it's only for 1 year. This package, free automated backups, not 1 year. So here we are at the Pro package. Let's go to the real pricing page, this one. So the Pro package for 3 years, so the cheapest option you can get is $27. And now it becomes interesting because we're gonna compare this price to the other hosting companies. Because what you want is you want to manage all of your client websites, right? And you want daily backups. Well, at least that's what I want, and I think that most people want, so that's what I'm gonna compare. $27, right? But on their homepage, it says like $2 or $3. Looks cheap. 27, it's not that cheap because we're gonna compare it with a hosting company that a lot of people think is expensive, but it's actually cheaper, which is Siteground, which I will go to in a minute. We're first gonna click on Dreamhost because Dreamhost is actually cheaper. If you go to their WordPress plans, because we always want a WordPress plan, one website, no, we want unlimited. All right, unlimited, $4 a month. Click over here. You can see over there, it's $11 a month. $11. That is a lot cheaper than what we saw before, which was $27. And it's also for 3 years, as you can see right here, right? And the reason why I focus on the renewal rates instead of the discounts is because you want to make a good decision for the upcoming years. Because especially when you're running your client's website, you have a responsibility to pick a good package, right? And also to not be surprised by a current price increase, right? Because maybe then you need to charge your clients more, which is not a very nice conversation to have with them. So you want to know upfront what you're going to pay in 1, 2, or 3 years. So that's why I focus on the renewal rates and I just kind of ignore the discounts. It's nice for the first few years, right? Because you can make some extra profit if you charge your clients. So let's compare this price to the other two, which are still left. The other two are the ones I recommend on the links page. So I'm gonna click on Hostinger first. I will click over here. I'm gonna put it on English. If you go to WordPress hosting over here, you scroll down, you can see that their 100 websites packages, which is more than enough for your first few years, I think, when you have your business, is only $4, but it renews at $6 a month. Which is pretty nice, right? And it even has daily backup. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, well, we need to go to this package, all right? The daily backups. So, because daily backups are in this package. Okay, so this renews at $12. So a quick reminder, this one was 11. Now, for Hostinger, we are at 12. So that's almost the same price, right? So now let's go to the one that is more expensive, which is Siteground. We're gonna go to Siteground. You can go to this page, or you can go to, over here, really small, reseller hosting. And here you can see the packages where you are allowed to resell the hosting to your clients, which is what I want. Okay, so the Grow Big plan is the cheapest one. It's discounted from this price. Let me put it on dollars again. Okay, let me just select the Grow Big plan from here. And over here you can see their real pricing. So if you pick the 36 months plan, which is a 3-year, it's gonna renew at 17.5. So we thought that Siteground was super expensive, but if you compare it to the other two, Siteground is actually not that expensive. It's just a few dollars more than the cheapest ones you can find. And Siteground is known to be a really good hosting company. I think you're starting to see which company I prefer, but we're gonna dive a little bit deeper because we also need to talk about speed, right? I mean, pricing is important. I wanna get a good deal, but speed is also important. So how do you know which company is good in speed? Well, first of all, you can watch a few reviews like this from people who have tested it, but you can also do a little bit of your own research. For example, there is something called data centers, and the speed in which the data of your website is sent to the user is very important, right? So if you are living in China and your data center is over in the USA, well, that takes a while, right? But if there are data centers across the whole world, then everything is fast. Now, let's go to Dreamhost website. And they say, our servers are located in the United States, okay? They have 2 servers, one over here and one over here. So that means they have only 2 data centers in the USA. I live in Europe, right? And I know some of you guys live in Asia. So you kind of want to have a company that has more data centers around the world, so the files are sent to your users fast, but also to you, right? When you are developing a website. So that's why I don't really recommend Dreamhost, even though it's cheap. Maybe for people who are just in America and only have customers in America, that's great. I mean, the United States, not just whole America, right? But for people that have customers outside of the USA, maybe Dreamhost is not the best option. So if you compare the two cheapest ones, Dreamhost and Hostinger, well, Hostinger says on their own website that they have 10 data centers, which is a lot better, right? But where are they? Well, they are across the world. Because if you go to this website, I will also place this link in the description. This is a pretty interesting website. You can check out the location centers of different hosting companies. So for example, let's just first go with Hostinger to keep my story consistent. Hostinger, you can see that they have a lot more data centers in Europe, even in South America and in Asia. That's better. Dreamhost, as you can see, only in the USA. Not very good. Bluehost, same story, right? Bluehost was expensive and they only have 2 servers which are located very near to each other. Not that good, right? So that's why Hostinger and Siteground wins this race. And is data center's location the only thing you have to know to determine the speed? No, there are a lot more factors. For example, how the hosting companies handle caching. Siteground last year made a lot of improvements on their caching, and that means that their websites load faster. So in my experience, Siteground is a little bit faster than Hostinger, but are also more expensive, right? Well, let's just take a look at it. So if you go to Hostinger and we want to get this package, right? Daily backups. If you click on see all the features over here and you have this table over here, if you scroll down, you can see the differences. Subdomains, Spark domains, that doesn't really matter. Database size, that's more, but what's really important here is the RAM, which is double on the Pro package. But look at this. I/O is the throughput or the speed of data transfer between the hard disk and the RAM. It's 10 times more as the business package, and it has more RAM. So if you want more speed on Hostinger, you will need to get to the Pro package, right? So let's check out the Pro package and see its pricing. Oh wait, it renews at $19.99, so that's $20. So now, if you compare the best speed of Hostinger to the pricing that we had with Siteground, now Siteground is not that expensive, right? And Siteground is known for good speeds. So if you want to get good speed on Hostinger, you pay more. And now I have a few more examples on why I think Siteground is just the best. First of all, they come with a plugin. Siteground has their own optimizer plugin that optimizes your website. This is great because it makes your website even faster. But it's also great because you will need less plugins on your website. For example, if you go to media over here, you can see that they have image compression, which is really important to keep your website fast. It's included in here, so you don't have to use an extra plugin. Lazy load media. That's another plugin that you don't need to download. Caching is done in here. Another plugin you don't have to download. You see? So this is where Siteground, in my opinion, wins extra points. So just for people that's starting out with their web design business, I think that the Siteground Go Big package is the best deal. And what's even cooler for people that are already generating a little bit more money is that their biggest package, the Go Geek, you will get a few more benefits. You can see over here the difference, Grow Big and Go Geek. You will get white labeling clients. So how does that work? Well, you're working with clients, but maybe you don't want to say to your clients that you are using Siteground. I just tell my clients what I use, but some people just like to resell and the clients will never figure out what kind of hosting you use. You can give your client a login to their own website with this. And then they don't even see Siteground. You see mysitearea.com, that's I think a domain that Siteground bought. There's not a logo here of Siteground. You can even, if you want, change the design to something like this, so it doesn't even look like the branding of Siteground, which is pretty cool. But what is just nice is that with the Go Geek plan, you just give them their own login. They only see the things they need to see, and they can easily create new email addresses over here. They don't have to call you all the time. It's just a super nice experience, right? But again, this is only with the Go Geek plan, which is $28 per month. But again, when you charge $20 a month to each client, you're easily making profits after a few clients. So if you want, you can upgrade. And again, this is not the most technical review you will ever find on YouTube, but I just want to use a system that's easy for me It's easy for my clients, it doesn't give me headaches, right? It's an easy, nice setup, and the tools are updated, it's fast, and it's not too expensive. So the reason why I still promote Hostinger is because for starting people that just want one website and don't have a big budget, it is still a great option. But if you want to take this web design business seriously, I think Siteground is still the best option in the market, and their optimizer plugin will make your life a little bit easier. They even have a security plugin. It's not as good as, for example, iTeams Pro, which I also recommend on this page. But it's nice that you can start out with a free security plugin. I actually forgot to say that, so sorry about that, but it's just the whole package that I really like. I will make an updated video this year on how I think you should structure your maintenance packages so you can charge your clients for this, so you don't even have to pay for this, and you can even make a profit with each new client that you sign. And then for now, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that this helps to make a decision for your own business. All the links are in the description. Again, I'm not paid to make this video, but there are affiliate links on this page. So if you want to support me, you can use the links on this page, and if you make a purchase, I will get a small commission. On Hostinger, you will even have a 10% discount if you put in this text on the checkout page. But that is not for renewals, that is only for the first payment. Okay, I think I've said everything. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video on Living with Pixels.